As a child, I was terrible, useless, hopeless at sport. However, I was very good at reading. Reading was my passion, as it is now. And both my mom and my dad bought me many atlases, encyclopedias, books and magazines related to geography, history, animals and plants. One of them is this volume that belongs to collection called Cultural Panorama, and this is called Monkeys from Around the World. I am very, very happy because 1 month ago, when I visited my mom, she told me that she still kept this book, which I had thought lost for a very, very long time. This book told me and taught me a lot. I remember having read this, I am not afraid to exaggerate, I might say 200 or perhaps 300 times when I was a little child. This book dates back from 1962, and it was published in Mexico by Novaro, which is or was, I don't know to be honest, a publishing company there. And as well as monkeys from around the world, I also have the volume concerning bears. Well, let's start with this. The illustrations were fascinating for me, and I learned many things about the nature of monkeys. Apes are not included in this book. But well, I learned about the Catarrhini, for example, that kind of complex vocabulary that a child is not usually familiar with. The Catarrhini are monkeys that come from the old world, let's say Africa and Asia. And I learned many things about the colobus, for example. I was amazed by the illustrations. I didn't know if that they were paintings, they were photographs, they were both. This comes from the American Museum of Natural History in New York. Many of these pictures. For example, the one here in all its splendor, a family or a group, right, of monkeys, courtesy of the same museum. And yeah, I learned about the Semnopithecus Hanuman, which is also mentioned in the famous epic poem Ramayana. So imagine for a little child what it was, Cercopithecus or something like that. And so many species like this Semnopithecus, which has a very long nose, well, the male one. It was really surprising. I would have never imagined that animals like these existed. Then I imagine myself observing those monkeys. One of the most recurring visions of myself as a child was being a zoologist, observing monkeys in Africa, and the monkeys were on the trees, socializing, fighting, eating, sleeping, and I was observing and taking notes. Well, you know, dreams and reality are sometimes very, very different, as I am an English teacher now. Well, macacos. And apart from the Catarrhini, I also learned about the Platyrrhini, which are monkeys from the New World, let's say Central America and South America, among them my country, especially the Amazonia. So I suppose I am much more familiar with them. One of the most beautiful monkeys was one that in Spanish we call capuchino, right? Unfortunately, I have no idea of the name in English. Look at this magnificent picture. I know that the Amazon is kind of flat. However, perhaps because of the height of the trees, you can see on the lower part some macaws over there. Can you observe them? It's not so clear, unfortunately. This monkey is the biggest one in the New World. In Peru, we call it maquisapa, which means something like spider monkey. One of the most disturbing pictures that I saw in my atlases was this one, the miriquina or duruculi, that lives in Venezuela, Brazil, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana. Look at this. I didn't think that monkeys hunted and they ate meat, as this one that captured a type of bird. And also the wakari, which is a monkey which cannot be domesticated because, as the book says, this is very difficult to be domesticated because when it is kept, it gets very sad. It refuses to eat and in the end dies. Leontopithecus is one of the smallest Amazonian monkeys. It looks like a lion. It seems to be seems to have a mane. And the titi, which is the smallest one, very, very small, right? And apart from them, I also learned about prosimians. They are the least developed of these types of monkeys. Well, in fact, they are not monkeys. The most famous one is the maki kata. Well, that's the name I learned. It appears in Madagascar, the film, I guess so. And this one, I love it. It seems to be a mouse. That's why they call it lemurido raton. Raton is mouse in Spanish. It lives in Madagascar in the east and west. And another one was the Tarcio espectro or maquiduende. Duende means elf, as far as I know. Can you imagine seeing this animal in the evening when you are walking in the forest? I have no idea what size they have, but can you do you know that each one of its eyes is bigger than its brain? And finally, the eye that for a lot of time was believed to be a rodent. Well, I watched documentary at the National Geographic, and yeah, this picture is really, really faithful to what it looks in reality. So this book dates back from 1962. It's a very, very happy thing to me that I can keep it after so many years. It's in kind of bad condition, but still it is a relic. It's a treasure for me that I wanted to share with you. Bye bye.